what's up? We back. More conversations with the topic. We got, a fight card coming up here tomorrow night. Caribe Royale Resort in Orlando. Headlining bout, Austin Ammo Williams versus Patrice Volny. Key bout there in the middleweight division. You had Ammo Williams with his, lone loss there to Hamza Shiraz there with that 5v5 that, went down there. Matchroom versus Queensberry 5v5. And with Patrice Volny, he has a lone loss there to his Caribe Falcao. That was back in November of 2021. That was a technical decision. So after that, he hasn't lost since. He's had 3 wins in his home country of Canada. And for Ammo Williams, he was able to get right back in the win column with the fight that was last November in Philadelphia. So there's a key bout here in the middleweight division between these two headlining what's going on here at the Caribe Royale Resort in Orlando. So kind of like scope the fight as far as tailor the tape between these two competitors, and what do you think about both of them?
I think it's going to be definitely a tough fight. You got 2 top 10 in the world competitors, you know what I'm saying? I think Volny, what I've seen up there on stage, got a little bit of an advantage size-wise over Ammo, but Ammo's a guy with a lot of heart, you know what I'm saying? So those two can equal out, Ammo's a big, that's why I do kind of like tune into Ammo. He's a very passionate guy, I'll say. He's very passionate, very transparent, you know, and it's very interesting, you know what I'm saying? It's tough to not like him, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's very transparent about his struggles and different things, but also he can fight. Like we seen when he fought in that 5v5, he was a little bit outclassed, but he still showed his heart of like, I'm not laying down.
Yeah, exactly.
And stuff like that to me, bro, matters. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a good fight for sure. I like Ammo maybe to edge it, but I definitely think the first half will be very competitive. There's a lot of support for both fighters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I heard a lot of people from Canada back there making some noise. So it's definitely, you know what I'm saying, Volny's not coming to lay down at all, man. You know what I'm saying? At all. So it's definitely gonna be a great fight. Like I say, it's a lot of support from both. So if there is like a lull in it, they start making that noise, it might, you know what I'm saying? But
it might pick things up.
It's gonna be a good fight, man. It's gonna be definitely a good fight. So definitely a good. What you think?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a toss-up fight here. With both of these competitors. Like I was mentioning before, there with Patrice Volny, he just tuned out what happened against the Caribe Falcao, and got right back in it, and picked up a few wins over in Canada to get his confidence back up and things like that. And now he's in this position where he could really be a contender there in the middleweight division against Ammo Williams that's been around the rankings, whether it's been like the WBA or the IBF or things like that, up until the point that he had that bout there against Hamza Shiraz. So I think this is a good barometer for both of these fighters to say, hey, okay, are we ready to get back into that top contender position before fighting for a world title? And as Eddie Hearn mentioned to me yesterday, with this bout, it's like the middleweight division is not really that deep. I mean, you have your world champions there. You have your Carlos Adames, you have Zanabek Hanuli, you have Arizlan De Lara. Those are the champions. But outside of that, who out there in the middleweight division is really contending like that people really know about outside of Hamza Shiraz, right? So you really could have a good opportunity to put yourself in a position to maybe fight for a world title maybe later this year. You know what I mean? So you get the win here, you could kind of state your case for maybe a world title shot out, or something where a fighter could have a voluntary defense of a world title and you could be the opponent.
What belts on the line for this? WBA, right?
I think they have a minor WBA title thing on there.
So that
for
means they trying to get him up in that WBA sanctioning body.
Right.
And I think Lara, if I'm not mistaken,
Lara is the world champion for the WBA.
WBA champion right now. Lara is like what, 40 something?
Yeah, he's definitely up there. He's definitely up there.
That could be a good transition. You know what I mean? Some good planning right there to, transition to a champion. Because like they were saying, Ammo's a guy that's been with him from scratch. So there's a little bit of love, where we're gonna want to do nothing but the best for my guy. You know what I'm saying? 100% nothing but the best, and everything that I could do is gonna be the best for my guy. So I think that could be a good transition. Like you say, Volny is a solid fighter, man. You're not coming to lay down. It's gonna be a 50-50 toss-up, man.
Yeah.
I still personally, I think
still leaning towards
I think Ammo, cause just the energy in that weigh-in, you know what I'm saying? Just that energy he brings to me is just, it's like he's gonna get all the way psyched up for the moment.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like I said, I've seen him go. The guy he fought, was Serez, right? Serez in that 5v5. That's as good as competition as you could get, man. Cause he just fought Adames, right?
Yeah, Carlos Adames. Yep.
And that was a draw?
Ended up being a draw, yes.
So that's a good gauge right there. You know what I'm saying? That's a good gauging stick to see where you at and where you belong. You know what I mean? You just lost the guy that took the champion to a draw. So I don't think he's too far off. That's just to me why I think that energy. But like, Volny could be chilling back like, man, okay. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show.
Yeah.
But hey, we'll see.
Yeah. So, that's going to be there as the main event, but you have what's going on in the co-main event, and that has been, one of the major stories here with this particular card, with Edgar Berlanga going up against Jonathan Gonzalez-Ortiz. And, that is, of course, with Berlanga, coming off of his fight with Canelo Alvarez, that was for the unified super middleweight titles. He ended up, losing by decision on that. But now, being in this co-feature bout against Jonathan Gonzalez-Ortiz, where, they're like saying, hey, I'm Edgar Berlanga. I had, gotten to this point to be a world title contender. And so now after that, it's like, why am I in this particular position in a co-feature bout or on the undercard for, Ammo versus Volny? But, in my conversation with Eddie Hearn, he said, well, given the contract, what happened in that fight against Canelo Alvarez is, yeah, you fell short, but after that you said, hey, you want to try to get right back into it ASAP. Now, if you're going to do that, then it would be in an undercard, and that's, what you agreed to. So Eddie Hearn says he's doing his part of the deal, but they're like, we don't necessarily like it, but that's what you agreed to. Okay, so now it's like here with this bout against Gonzalez-Ortiz, how Edgar Berlanga performs, one, and then two, what could potentially happen after that with matchroom boxing. You know what I mean? So that's the scenarios that we got here with Edgar Berlanga.
See, Edgar showed that he world class, you know what I'm saying, in the ring. I don't know all the outside of the ring business. That's not, you know what I'm saying? Just in the ring, I must say, pertaining to the in the ring, I don't know which direction he can go now. You know what I mean? Now that if he doesn't go back with Matchroom, they got the zone, maybe Golden Boy. I don't know if he goes Golden Boy. You know what I mean? I know he left Top Rank, so I don't know, if he goes back to Top Rank. But the two, ones with the nice platforms, I don't know if PBC really got, they got Amazon right now?
Yeah, they on Amazon, and
so
they got
maybe
a number of
PBC
contenders there
is where
too.
he would go, or if he wants to do, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Career-wise, I don't know.
Like a free agent.
If he don't have that same schedule.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a date here in Puerto Rico, this date, and then we're going to have, Eddie be having schedules with
you can, yeah.
We're going to boop, 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 this is our plan. If he handles business there, we're going to do a big mashup. Talk like Eddie. We're going to do a big mashup, and it's hometown. You know what I'm saying?
Look, mate.
Yeah. But yeah, you know what I'm saying?
We have this set up, this proper in Puerto Rico.
A big mashup.
You know.
It's gonna be massive. But I don't know if they're gonna have that same schedule though. You know what I'm saying? But like, you're not with these promotional companies. That's something that they do offer. You know what I'm saying? Dates. And companies like National, man, they do a lot of shows. So I don't know how frequently, if he does do that, we see him, you know, in the ring, because he's hitting the peak where he could really transcend into. Like he could be jumping into those next fights where he could be getting a lot of money for each fight. You know what I'm saying? His feature prices went up where he could fight those Caleb Plants like he said he wanted, Charlo like he said he wanted, and who's the third name? Plant, Charlo, one more person.
Well, you know, with it being the super middleweight division, you talk about Plant. Talk about, you know,
Pacheco, that's what he said.
I think Diego Pacheco. Yeah,
I think that's what he said. Pacheco.
And Pacheco is the fighter. That is the fighter that I have been requesting to have Edgar Berlanga fight for a while now. Is Diego Pacheco. I really want to see that fight. You have, you know, other contenders there. You have a Christian and Billy there. You have a Jaime Munguia that's out there. You know, you have.
Oh, he said Munguia. That's what he said. Munguia.
Jaime Munguia too.
Charlo.
You know, and Plant. Those are really good. Those are really good commercial matchups there in the super middleweight division. So we got to see what happens here after this fight against Jonathan Gonzalez-Ortiz. If what he needs to do in order to set himself up for those fights, because he does want a big fight next. That's the thing. He does want a big fight next. So we got to see what happens here Saturday night against Gonzalez-Ortiz, and then after that, you know, maybe we'll see how they work things out with that. Right. All right. A couple of other fights here that they got on the docket that I wanted to touch on also real quick. You got Jermaine Ortiz that's on this card, of course, that's going up against Omar Alamo. They got a little minor version of regional title there on this fight. Of course, you got Jermaine Ortiz that's competed with Vasyl Lomachenko, right?
Got a little chippy on the stage today, man.
Yeah, they did pretty much. And he had his fight there against Vasyl Lomachenko. He had his fight there against Teofimo Lopez. You know, so that shows like where he could be at within that particular weight class. If he takes care of business here against Omar Alamo, he might be right back in the mix there within that particular division. So I feel like this is something real good for him to see if he kind of like shows that, hey, maybe I'm on a different level than the Omar Alamo, but it just remains to be seen how he approaches this and how he can like say, hey, you know what, let me go ahead and see what I can do here against Alamo and see if that would put me in position to have like other key fights there in the future.
See, I think Ortiz is a very, 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 very good fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, those losses that he had was to a hot Lomachenko at the time. You know what I'm saying? And like we've been talking about this whole shoot, if you can fight, we want to see you fight now. You know what I'm saying? We want to know if you can fight now. And then he fought Tio. Both of those fights, honestly, man, I thought were very competitive.
Yeah.
Very, very, very competitive. Both of them. You know what I'm saying? Very competitive, where I was very impressed where, if I was a promoter, I would take this guy and say, I can take him and, we can get you back to those big title shots because, you know what I mean? Who was he signed with at that time when he was he signed with Top Rank?
I don't know if he was signed with Top Rank when he was under.
Stuff like that matters when you got that backing, that A-side backing, you know what I'm saying? And you more of the familiar face and you're going to get more fairer shake on things like that. That's why I say I felt like those fights were very close skills-wise, you know what I'm saying? Now, outside of the skills-wise portion, we seen how the fight went, but skill for skill inside that square, he shows that he's world-class, you know what I'm saying? He shows that he can compete with the top guys, and I would expect nothing less, you know what I'm saying, if he's rocking with any of them to see him get back, because like I said, they got dates, they got opportunities for you to get back to the top. So what weight is he at again?
He's at 140.
know what I'm saying? So I would expect to see him as another guy that's in that 140 mix, man. Ortiz is solid.
Yeah,
He's solid.
Yeah, very solid, and we got to see how he performs here against Alamo. They're of course coming in with a record of 22 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw. With on the flip side there with Jermaine Ortiz, is there like 18, 2-1. So you gotta see what's happening there with Jermaine Ortiz, so that he can get himself right back into that contender's position. They're 140 pounds, and as we had mentioned earlier in our earlier conversations, with all those world champions that are there at 140, all of those other contenders that we mentioned there at 140, you got to see how Jermaine Ortiz is going to be able to put himself in that position to be in that mix. You know what I mean? So you got that. Now, also, we got featured is the pro debut of Omari Jones, that's going to have his first bout in his home city of Orlando, Florida, there against Alessio Mastronunzio. Yeah. So, and I had a conversation with Omari Jones there. We had the topic here that had talked with Omari Jones also. And my thing that stood out with this is that we said, hey, you know what? We're having our pro debut, number one, but check this out. You know how they have your pro debuts, and they usually have them where they just starting out and see where they're at in their particular careers, and it would be a 4-round bout, and it could be against a guy that has a couple of fights or a few fights here and there. But here with Omari Jones, he's going up against a fairly experienced guy, number one, and it's scheduled for a 6-rounder. You rarely see that, but it goes to the level of what Omari Jones was able to do in his amateur career and his accolades that he's had in his amateur career that says, hey, you know what? When we have the pro debut, we're going to have it against this fighter, and we're going to have it scheduled for 6 rounds. So what are your thoughts on him having that as his pro debut to start out his career?
See, I don't think that that's bad because of how he's, the timing of everything. Him, firstly, medaling at the Olympics shows that he is deserving of whatever he's saying he's deserving of. Mm-hmm. 2, in the Olympics, you're fighting without headgear. You know what I'm saying? So he had to fight however many times to get up to that point where he's seen a lot of the world's top guys, where the guy he's fighting is probably equal to, some of those guys that he's fought. And then, like I say, he's fighting 3 rounds where he probably feels like, I just finished fighting in the biggest Olympic tournament that you could ever fight in. Let's get me 6 where that could be my push. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That could be my push right there of seeing that. So I don't see no problem with it. Like I said, him just coming off the Olympics, just freshly placing bronze in the Olympics shows that, he's a world-class young guy to place, you know what I'm saying? And those guys in the Olympics be grown men sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. They be freaking...
Hey, some of them be pros, they be competing.
You know what I'm saying? They be 30. So, I don't see the guy that he's fighting, I don't see, it being too much for him. Like I say, 6 rounds would be good. Young guy, so I think he's fresh with the conditioning. Like I say, freshly off the Olympics, so I don't think he's too far out of shape. Good young man, you know what I'm saying? Well-spoken young guy.
Yeah.
I think he'd be one of the next bright stars of the sport, especially with him being with Eddie and them.
Yeah.
They're going to definitely walk him right, And then he can fight. Clearly, he's bronze medalist. That means he was the 3rd best boxer in the entire world in his weight class. You know what I'm saying? He can fight, flat out. So I know he said he's wanted take his time, no rush. But he did mention, I think Xander Zayas would be a dream fight that he wouldn't mind having. So he do got his eyes on, some of those guys out there. But we're gonna see tomorrow what he looks like, man. We'll have to do a post-fight one to really see what these guys look like, and then we can really tell where they're going with it. But I think right now, man, I like Jones.
Yeah.
I want to see his pro style. I want to see how he might got a little more time to be strategic with those 6 rounds. In the Olympics, you got to you don't got as much time. I want to see with him having a little more time where he can slow down and get his feel. And he can find his rhythm a little bit, touch the guy and say, okay, I can start breaking him down versus in the Olympics now. They got to come out quick.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
quick.
saying? They got
You
to
know,
come out
points, you
fire
gotta-
and
you
then
know,
he can
very-
come out
very-
a little bit and slow down and
hands.
start to think a little bit
Yeah.
more, see his shots, and develop. So I think this is actually perfect for him, and being in 6th round. You know what I'm saying? I think that's perfect for him to
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, most
What you
definitely.
think about him?
I
What you
mean,
think?
that was, one of the key points there is like, him being in a 6th round bout against a fighter that, almost has 24 fights, shows that the level of, where they feel like he's at this point of his career, and him, competing around that welterweight, super welterweight division that, kind of like says that, hey, if you're having this bout and then you get a win here and pretty much like look very good doing it, then they're gonna have you matched up against another fighter that's around that same range.
Right, yeah.
You feel me? So that says, hey, you know what? We're gonna have him climbing up the ranks here pretty quickly after about 4, 5, 6 fights, maybe. Depending on how active he is in the matchups that they have out there for him. But you also said there with Matchroom and Eddie Hearn getting these young guys, from the Olympics. You have Amari Jones. This is not that much different than when he signed Akeem Moses. Had his pro debut last year and had another fight here this year was like February there. So Akeem Moses has had 2 pro fights already on his docket, and so now we have Amari Jones now having his pro debut in his hometown of Orlando, Florida, and then seeing if he could get right back in the mix here soon afterwards. So
I definitely think Eddie, like I say, man, Eddie and them got big plans for him. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, he's a well-spoken, he's marketable. You know what I'm saying? That's the guy. Certain guys you wanna, you know what I'm saying? It's easy. I'm gonna say it's easier for them. He's a well-spoken guy, coming off the Olympic pedigree, so it's not like you gotta put too much investment into like building. You just gotta move him right. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, he's made his name himself in the Olympics. Now it's just putting them in front of the things he needs to be in front of to, you know what I'm saying? And then he got to go in the ring and back it up. But
exactly.
Overall, I like him, man. I think he's got a bright future. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. We'll have to see tomorrow, I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah.
We're definitely see tomorrow.
We're definitely going to see tomorrow, and then, see how he does here against Alessio Manfredini. And then after that, then, well, at least I'll try to reach out to Eddie Hearn or with Amari Jones and see, if they have something like in the plans for him to get right back in the ring. As I mentioned to Amari Jones earlier, maybe by June you can have him in his next fight. But that's mainly what wanted to focus on with this particular fight card. Like I said, there's gonna be 6 fights on the card. I know that there was one that we were looking forward to, at least I was really looking forward to out there with Jalil Hackett versus Jose Roman. They were supposed to have the rematch scheduled to be on this fight card, but with Jalil Hackett suffering an injury here yesterday that had forced the bout to be scratched there. So was a tough break there for Jalil Hackett, and we got to see like what happens here next for him after he's able to recover from the ankle injury and whatnot. So that's what we had on it. Anything here that you want to close out with on this particular conversation?
Prayers out to Hackett, man, and his team. Hackett is a young fighter with a lot of potential, man. What is he, 19, 21? What is he, 21? 21. A lot of potential, man. He's got a lot of years ahead of him. He's a fighter. You know what I'm saying? Hackett's a guy that can fight. He can go. We've seen him co-main up in Pennsylvania. It was like, 14,000 people up there.
Yeah.
Put a solid performance on against a very, very durable guy, and Pete Dobson, man.
Yeah.
So we know that he's a world-class guy, and we know that he can go. You know what I'm saying? Whenever he's ready, man, all prayers to him, man. We wish him the best of luck with his recovery, getting back. But like I say, bro, he can go. You know what I'm saying? He can fight. I'll co-sign my man all day long, any day of the week, man. So, like I say, just wish him a speedy recovery, bro.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we had Jalil Major Hackett. As y'all know, I've been following Jalil Hackett ever since pretty much his pro debut, and you've seen what he's been able to do here along the way. And as the topic mentioned, when he had that bout against Pete Dobson at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, that was like a really significant bout, like a step-up bout to see where he was at in just his young career. And it's just that we had what happened over in Puerto Rico against Jose Roman. there, having a 96-94 twice in favor of Jose Ramon. Therefore, the first loss of his career. But he said, you know what, I wanted to go ahead and get that get back. And that's all he was working towards here leading into what was going to happen on March 15th. It's just that it had that unfortunate situation. But, it was just a minor setback for a major comeback there for Jaleel Major Hackett. So that being said, hey, have the topic right here. Big thanks as always.
Appreciate it.
You know what I mean?
Always appreciate you for having me, bro.
Y'all follow the topic on social media. You see the hat, so that's what you gotta look for on social media. You gotta type it that way in order to properly find them. So as long as you're able to do that, you'll be able to see them there. And of course, you know what it is here with the Boxing Source.
My man working, y'all. Hey, look, my man working, man. My man is working right now. It's the hardest working man in boxing media right now, man. People don't see the behind the scenes, bro. People don't, they just, see the it's a lot of work that go into this, keeping everything pumping. This guy right here, man, a lot of dedication, a lot of hours, a lot of time, a lot of that go into, seeing what y'all see, man, and putting that content out there for the people, man. So do y'all best to support, man. Subscribe, man. Share, bro. Word of mouth. All that. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all check my guy out, the Boxing Source, man. My man, you know what I'm saying? My man be in Philly, my man out in Florida, my man be in VA, my man be in UK. We go to that work, baby.
Yeah.
We go to the work. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Check out my man Boxing Source, man.
Yeah.
Number one to me in boxing right now. Who hotter?
Word.
Who hotter?
So, like I said, y'all check out the Boxing Source here on YouTube. Of course, you got a thing there on social media. You got the website, theboxingsource.net. Everything you need in the sport of boxing, you know what to do. You just look up the Boxing Source on that. With that being said, we out. Peace.